Hello and welcome, everyone. This is the Embracing Grace and Patching by Faith podcast, and joining me is Kathryn May, who is a wonderful and beautiful friend, and we have just really connected on so many different levels. And one of that is the Lifewave X39 patch. And so, welcome, Kathryn, before I jump into any kind of introductions.
Yeah, thank you so much. I love chatting with you. It's great to be here. Thank you.
And we're going to do a short Q&A because we both received quite a lot of questions, and we thought it might be easier for us to just get together and share what is on our hearts and what our understanding is about this business and what it's done for us. So we're just going to jump right in. So Kathryn, I'm going to direct the first couple of questions to you. And the first one that we often get is, what is LifeWave in simple terms?
Well, Lifewave is a company that they sell wellness technology. So Lifewave has been around for 17, 18 years. It's been around for a long time. And they really are known for creating the natural ways, wellness technology that we can heal our body using the little patches, phototherapy patches. And those phototherapy patches are meant to help your body heal and to function better using light, not medicine, which is really important to me. The patches that they sell, they're just little round patches. They look like little stickers. And I'll show you what one looks like. I just have one right here. And inside of this patch, there is a little special crystal lattice structure that interacts with your body's own light. And when you wear it, it will reflect your body's infrared light heat, like, because we are light also. That's why, the military and stuff, when they're looking for people or somebody's lost in the woods, they can do night vision, right? Goggles or infrared heat to find people. And so these patches reflect that infrared heat back into your skin, which activates things like, your cells. And some are stem cells, and we'll talk about that. But they help to do things like reduce your pain, increase energy, support just natural healing in the body. So LifeWave, in most simplest terms, is imagine your body has a tool to heal itself. LifeWave helps you to flip those switches on in your body so that they can do what they were meant to do.
Question two is, these patches are non-transdermal. So how do they actually work without any drugs or ingredients going into your body? And I think that's a big one for people, is because the first thing they want to know is this going to interact with any of the drugs that I'm currently taking?
This was one of the big questions I had when I started researching this for myself as well. Most people assume that for something to work, it has to be absorbed or you have to take it in the form of a liquid or a pill, something like that. But LifeWave works from something called photobiomodulation. And I know that sounds like a really big word, but really all that means is light-based therapy. And that light-based therapy is used in hospitals and things like for sports. You see light-based therapy in laser therapy. Okay, that's light therapy. You see it in red light therapy, and red light therapies for muscle, like relaxation for muscles, rejuvenation of skin, different things like that. Spas use it, chiropractors use it, hospitals use it, and all types of other, places use light therapy. Sorry. So here's really what photobiomodulation actually means. And it is when light, like usually red or near infrared, is used to activate changes inside the body, like improving your energy production, reducing inflammation in the body. If you've ever been to a chiropractor and I've had this happen, so I don't know if you have, but if you've ever laid on a table and they said they were going to use a laser to go over your back where it's really inflamed to help to break up that inflammation, this is a great example of that. It helps the tissue to repair and reducing inflammation, things like that. So these patches really mimic this effect that is used, or that using our own light, our body's own light. So they don't send anything into the body. Okay. The patches are non-transdermal. That means they don't put anything in to your body. Like if you think about a nicotine patch, if somebody's trying to quit smoking, they'll slap a nicotine patch on their arm and that will seep in nicotine into their system. And that is a dermal patch, okay? That's something that you're getting something out of that patch, or hormone patches are the same example. But these patches don't put anything into the body. They use the light from your body to reflect back into the patch, and they just basically talk to each other. And when that happens, it elevates certain peptides, turns on certain peptides are keys to your DNA, by the way. So these turn on certain peptides in your body that go to work at doing what your body's already naturally meant to do, but over time, it needs help, as we age, or sometimes there's just a missing link, and having it activated this way just helps to your body go, oh, okay, this is what I need to do, and I haven't been doing this. And so it's pretty neat because each patch has a different wavelength of light that's being reflected into the body so that it can stimulate whatever needs to be done and trigger those changes in your body, like more energy, inflammation reduction, things like that. And I want you to think about it like this. This is the simplest way that I explain it to people. Think of it like going out into the sun and how sunlight helps your body make vitamin D. And a common misconception is that when we go outside, the sun is giving us vitamin D, but that's not actually accurate. The sun is only stimulating vitamin D to ramp up in our body. So it's not like the sun's rays are infusing vitamin D. There's no vitamin D in the sun. It's in us though. And
Yeah.
so when we get into the sun, it stimulates our body to raise that production of vitamin D. So it's the same concept. It's light therapy. And these patches, though, even though they use your own light, they don't use the sun. They do the same thing. They send message to the cells.
We're both Christians and we both do our businesses from a Christian perspective. When we speak to Christians about the product, often people go, well, is this new age? It is this misconception and maybe the lack of knowledge in the sense of we actually have been using light therapy for years and years and years. And the sun is a beautiful example. And I had TB in 2004. And before they had antibiotics, they used to put people in the sun because they needed to raise the vitamin D levels for your own immune system to start fighting TB off. It wasn't always successful, unfortunately, but it definitely helped. So that was one of the instruction I was given is sit in the sun as much as you can, even though I had the antibiotics. The other ways that we use light therapy that is so well known is for babies with jaundice, right? They put them under, which I think is a blue light, and jaundice is the yellowing of the skin and the eyes. And so when they're under this blue light, that helps stimulate things in their body that need to bring healing from within. And that's another important thing that you mentioned is the sun is not giving you vitamin D. Your body already has the ability to heal itself. It already has all of these things inside of it. I mean, for example, I cut my finger a couple of years ago trying to depup an avo. It was not cool. And I cut it from there to from this side of my finger to that side of my finger, and you can see the scar there. And when I went to the hospital, they only put glue in between. The glue is not what healed my body. My body, the skin itself, the body actually went to work to heal itself. And that is really what the patch is doing. It's really just stimulating and reinforming your body and saying you actually need to do the work. These patches don't have anything that will interact with what you're using, and it really is just helping your body heal itself from the inside out.
Yeah, and it's not woo-woo. I mean, it's not because
No, yeah.
Scripture tells us at the beginning, the first thing he did was he spoke light into existence.
Yeah.
Okay, so God is light. The enemy has really, he can use anything to muddle down the pureness of God and in all kinds of ways. And I know you use the term New Age, but I think a lot of people don't even understand what New Age really means. They just throw it around out there. And I'm like, if you really look at what New Age is, it's pretty easy to tell. This is not us going and enlightening ourselves. This is using light, not enlightening.
Yeah.
This is not us going and, emptying so that we can fill ourselves with some wrong spirits. No, we're not doing any of that. We're not wearing any funky, weird jewelry that calls on the power of the earth. No, we're not doing any of that. We call on the power of the Holy Spirit and plead the blood of Christ healing over our body. This is just a support tool that can help your body do what it's supposed to do naturally, what God intended it to do in the first place. But we live in a fallen world. We don't live in the Garden of Eden anymore. We got kicked out, remember? Like, so we live in a place where there's sickness and disease and deterioration. And no, wearing these patches isn't going to make you live forever. Of
Mm.
course not. But it is going to advance the quality of your life and could help you with longevity, having a longer and more quality of life and quantity as well. So I think that that's really important to recognize that sometimes I think ignorance is bliss, people
Mm.
say, but it's not. We really need to be educated. Yes. So I think it's good to ask questions, but also understand what about this seems like it could be that way.
Mm.
Really like dig in before you start throwing out like this isn't going to work. Because do you take Tylenol? Do you take Advil? Do you take aspirins? Do you take blood pressure medication? I mean, yes, of course, a lot of us do.
Mm.
And that's from a pharmacy. Okay, it's all from a pharmacy. And if you really want to dive in right now, pharmacy, the word pharmacy comes from the root word pharmakia, which means witchcraft. So let's just be honest. I mean, all of us that are on medications or have ever taken a Tylenol, we are coming into agreement with that at some level, and we don't even recognize it. And I don't mean
Mm.
we're agreeing with witchcraft, like, yes,
From a
but I'm
spiritual
just
perspective. Yeah.
like if you really want to get to the root of it, like people say, no, I don't want to put this patch on, but I'll keep taking all these pills. I'm like, okay.
Mm.
So this over here, the man that created these patches was led by God with the exact specifics as to how to create them. And so it is removing the need from a lot of people for a lot of the medications and not to take them off of them right away. You need to work with your doctor.
Mm.
I'm just saying it's a matter of thinking about it. I'm on blood pressure medication, so I'm not knocking being on medicine. I need to be on it, right now too. Like I was saying, though, the man that created these, he hears from the Holy Spirit. He's very clear about what spirit he follows, and that's important to understand when you do come into agreement with whatever you're going to put on your body or in your body, that the source or the root of where that comes from. And we don't do that with everything. We're really picky and choosy about what we really do that with.
Mm.
And it's very interesting, Cindy, because most people that buy the patches through me, because now I'm a brand partner and I do,
Mm.
work with this company and I love Lifewave. It's fantastic. They don't know me at all, but I speak very openly about the Lord and healing so that they can grasp that. Yes.
Well, I mean, we both know how it's helped us, but I want to actually just cover a different question first before we get
Mhm.
to our testimonies, which sort of follows on from what we've been talking about. And that is there real science or research behind the LifeWave technology, or is it just clever marketing?
Yeah, absolutely. There's real science behind it. And there's over 90 clinical studies, that were done. And you can go and find all of those. You can go read for days and days if you want to at thisisitinfo.com,
Mm.
or you can go to startx39now.com and you can read all of those clinical studies. And many of them were published and peer reviewed. Okay. There are double blind placebo controlled trials, which is the gold standard. Okay.
Mm.
The gold standard for all of these. And they show improvements in things like pain, energy, healing in the body, rapid wound healing,
Mm.
brain function, stem cell activity increased. This isn't just hype. It
Mm.
is measurable. And it's very important to understand that even though I didn't have the luxury of being skeptical, many are skeptical at first. Um, but then again, there are a lot actually who I've met who are not. I'll be
Mm.
honest with you. Usually, the more educated someone is, the less skeptical they are
Yeah.
immediately because
Mm.
they understand. They're like, oh, yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Like doctors, chiropractors, people who are already into kind of understanding the body and how we're wired, they're a lot less resistant. So, but once I looked at the research, I realized this is not a gimmick, but beyond my own experience too,
Mm.
because I had that first, obviously, before I even did any major research.
Mm.
But new and anything new, it can kind of cause a little bit of resistance and a lack of understanding. So, and that's okay, and that's why education is important. And I don't know everything, but there's information out there to tell you everything you might want to ever know. It's a new kind of wellness tool that a lot of people just haven't heard of yet.
Mm.
And you can find even in functional medicine, a lot of functional doctors get some kickback about a lot of the natural things that they want to try and do to help their patients
Mm.
heal. It takes time. It's a little longer, and different things like that. But I think that's the same concept here. It's just thinking about our health a little bit different than what we've been programmed to think about
Mm.
it.
Mm. And it's so important. I'm a little bit like you. I sort of jumped right in, got the patches because I was in so much pain and I had brain fog and, really struggled with energy, etc. So I tried them and then did a lot of the research while I was waiting for it to arrive, kind of thing. But it is important for people go and do the research. Like Kathryn says, there are so many clinical trials. All of it is posted on the website, the thisitit.info.com, and startx39now.com as well. There is so much information out there. And what I find is sometimes people jump to the negative testimonials first. They first go and Google what
Oh,
is wrong with it.
yeah.
And when you sort of present, but have you looked at all the positive
Mm.
testimonials? They go, yeah, but that's on the company's website. And I'm like, well, wouldn't you put a positive testimonial on your website if you had a business? Because surely
Yeah.
that is something that I do. I put all my testimonials on my website or share it in newsletters, etc. That is what people do. And there are always going to be people who don't like your product
Yeah.
or don't, like the business or don't like the people in the business. There are billions of people on the planet, and there are thousands and thousands and thousands of wonderful testimonials. So the few that you found that didn't like it, that's normal, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Completely normal in any business. And I
Yeah.
think when you're a business owner, you sort of understand that not everybody's going to be your client, right? Not everybody's going to like your shoes or your jewelry or your makeup or your skincare or whatever you're selling. And that's okay. But if you are interested in becoming healthy the natural way and using technology that has been around for many, many years, has been proven, but has now been ramped up to a completely unique way of using light therapy, then give it a go. Just go and do your research yourself.
It's easier to find the negative things about anything first. Go Google your
Absolutely.
favorite restaurant, and you'll likely find somebody has left a Google review saying how terrible the food is that you just ate last night and it was your favorite ever.
Yeah,
Okay, so
absolutely.
you'll
Yeah.
find it.
Mm,
But, I think that we get what we look for in life.
absolutely. Mm,
And I was looking for natural solutions because I also know that this world is changing and I
mm,
cannot rely on my government all the time for everything. I really shouldn't rely on them for anything. I should be relying on God. So if
mm,
this is a God solution that my spirit, like of course I took it to the Holy Spirit. It's like, is this from you? I do that with everything.
mm,
And to see God providing resources for his kids and his kids rejecting them, just doesn't make sense to me. And I mean all the natural things. I'm not just talking about these patches. I just mean any natural way of healing our body, or just even just simply changing our diets and not
mm.
eating foods that are killing us at an
Yeah.
early age, giving us diabetes or whatever. We won't take sound solid advice from the Bible, but we'll go to Google and hear that first
Mm,
because Genesis really gives us the blueprint for
mm.
the way we should even eat.
Yeah.
In the very beginning, he gave us there's your meal plan. He gave it to us. It's in the first book, right? It's right
Yeah.
there on the. And so I just think it's a very. I could get on that all day. I won't, but I
Mm,
could because I'm just like. But not everybody. There's so many. I've met hundreds and hundreds of people who have reached out to me because they're looking online for a natural
mm,
solution to fill in the blank problem.
mm.
And they're saying this is maybe they've tried like me, like I've tried everything and I refuse
Yeah.
surgery. So what else do I have?
Mm,
I have nothing to lose, right? It
mm.
could be those people, and there just could be other people who just already understand natural and they're like, yes, this is what I want to do.
Okay, so the next question that we had was what kind of results or transformations have you personally seen or experienced from using these patches?
Yeah. Yeah, that's a great question. I won't get into it really deep here because I know I've done other videos sharing my testimony. I've even shared some of that here with you on your podcast. So
Mm,
you guys can go find those and like dig in deeper. But basically, I started wearing these patches out of a need in my back. My back was just out. When I say out, I couldn't even go to the bathroom by myself or put on my own clothing. And this would happen frequently. And it had happened for 20 years. It was ridiculous. And this particular day, my back went out again. And what that means is the disc protruded out, touched the nerve, caused severe inflammation, and I can't
Wow.
stand up or move. And I called my friend and his wife, who are healing ministers, and I just said, "Could you pray for me?" And he said, "Absolutely." And I believe in the power of prayer. And I also was believing for my healing. I had been believing for my healing for a long time and just waiting for that to come. I just was
Mm,
believing for it. Anyway, so my friend prayed for me and then shared with me about these patches he had just found and came over and brought me a few to sample while they were going out of town or something like that. So, anyways, long story short, I put them on 3 days later. I wore one every day for 3 days. And 3 days later, the inflammation brick in my back was back to normal. And
mm,
I was up and moving around, which is a huge deal. And it would usually take me weeks to get to that point, even
mm,
if I went to the hospital and had a anti-inflammation
mm,
shot. And it was huge for me to recognize that that happened so fast. So, of course, then, I was researching and finding different things. And one of the studies I read said that this can help with heart health, which I also have a heart condition that they say, they being the doctor, say is not something that would get better. But I just don't take that as the final word. I always say, you know what, Jesus is my healer and he can do
amen.
anything. Miracles happen today. People are healed from stage 4 cancer. He can handle my heart.
Mm,
So, anyways, I started wearing the patches continuously. And then 6 months later, every 6 months, I would go to my heart doctor and have these specific tests run just to see that it didn't get worse. And for 6 years. And then after 6 months of wearing the X39 specifically, because Lifewave has other patches, but that was
mm,
the ones that I was using, X39 and X49 in conjunction, actually. And my heart condition improved
mm,
measurably on tests. So that was a big deal for me. But beyond that, just like I was sleeping better, I was feeling a lot more peaceful, which was a big deal for me because I'm a business owner and there's a lot going on. And sometimes stress is legitimately a real thing, right? Like you
yeah.
just got multitask out the
Mm,
wazoo.
mm,
But there's so many. I could go on and on about the testimonies of autism in children that my friends' kids have experienced great things, or knee issues going away, or hair regrowth. For me, there was a big bald patch on the side of my head right here. That's not, you can't even tell where it was ever. Um, just different things like that. So I've experienced lots of different really amazing benefits from wearing the X39. Now I've been wearing the X39 religiously every day for the last year and a half. And I sometimes periodically will wear the X49 and Eon as well.
mm, So great. And I mean, I think mine is so similar to yours. I mean, I was struggling with severe and inflammatory back pain since I was a teenager. And so there was nothing anybody could ever do. I've done so many different tests, had so many different types of medications, and I actually many times decided not to take the medication because I know the negative effects that it would have on me. So I sort of lived with the pain and just really stood in faith for my healing, just like you. And there were other things. I had a heart issue last year where my heart rate would just spike out of nowhere. And sometimes for days on end, I would really struggle. And it was on and off. It wasn't all the time, but there were times that it was really, really bad. And I landed up in hospital, I think, twice with it. And they put me on medication, but which I didn't take because I was like, I think the medication sort of came at the same time as Lifewave arrived. And I was like, okay, I'm going to actually just give this a go first. And I've been so much better. I mean, I've had, you know, twice where they've had to monitor my heart, but I haven't had another one since being on Lifewave. So, and then just struggling with perimenopause. Oh my goodness, the brain fog. I went from being completely clear-headed to not being able to string a few sentences together, an exceptionally dry mouth. And I mean, as a podcast, I just launched my podcast the year before. So it was so, all of these things sort of happened at the same time. I lost hair the same way as you do, not sleeping at all, hot flashes, etc. And my energy levels, I mean, I think after my daughter was born, I just had absolutely no energy. And I was really, really sick when I was pregnant with her. And I don't think I ever, recovered from that. So after starting this, I mean, my results came very quickly. I mean, within the first day. So I took it the first day, the following day, I had no more pain. I could get out of bed without sort of being all bent over and needing to sort of stretch before, standing up straight kind of thing. And then within a week or so, my energy levels were off the chart. And I mean, I remember sharing this on one of my testimonies, is that I got to a point where I was actually buzzing and I was so nervous that this is what it was going to be like. I was actually wondering, how am I going to cope with this? And then I had the most beautiful sleep. And ever since, I've been in a beautiful rhythm. Of course, there are nights when we have, spiritual attacks, or if my hubby's away and I don't sleep very well that night, of course, those kind of things happen. But the majority of nights, I sleep so deeply and I can wake up and go straight back to sleep if I need to, if the dog wakes me up in the middle of the night to take him out, for example, right? But I go straight back to sleep and I have so much energy. I've shared this before. Started setting a goal of walking 30 miles a month. Last month for March, I did 54. So
That's awesome.
that's amazing. The energy that I have and the ability, the stamina that I have and sustained energy for the day is absolutely amazing. It really has changed my life in so many ways. And same, the testimonies that I've heard of people have been it is just so beautiful that something that contains no drugs, is not going to give you any side effects, can have an effect on your body the way that this has.
Yeah,
Right.
exactly. I love it
Mm,
too. I never get tired of listening to people say,
yeah.
Kathryn, after I follow up with them for after a couple weeks, they're like, I had this and this and this before, and now it's this and this and this. And I'm like,
Mm,
geez, that's it. Like, thank you.
yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, so good.
Absolutely. So one of the questions, and do the patches really help with things like energy, sleep, pain, or anti-aging, or is there more to it than that? Is there anything that you want to say to that, or?
Just because we did touch on this already, and sometimes this is a common question, right?
Mm,
Even though I say it's helped me, they're like, well, how? And it putting like the X39 patch on, for instance, right? That supports your body at the root level. We already talked about that. It activates your stem cells,
mm,
which supports healing, regeneration, and other patches, things like inflammation, detox, mental clarity, hormone balance, things like that. So while the results that you're experiencing might feel like better sleep, might feel like more energy, what's actually happening is that your body is finally being supported at the cellular level that it needed, that it was not getting before. And that's why those changes feel so natural and lasting, because you didn't know what you were missing until you got what you needed. And so
mm,
your body's just aligning, it's aligning itself with its original design when
mm,
you trigger the peptides that need to be triggered in the body the right way, and you put the keys in the lock and you turn them the right way, your DNA fires, does what it needs to do, and bam, you have these outward natural results of
mm,
better sleep, more energy, or mental clarity, or whatever it is that you're experiencing like that.
mm, mm. And I love how your stem cells will go to work where it's needed, right?
Yep.
You may think that you need more, I don't know, energy, for example, but your stem cells is actually going to work at such a deeper level than what you understand. So
Yeah.
when it heals that whatever it's busy healing, it may have an effect on your energy levels. So I think sometimes we need to trust the process. Oftentimes we want to use something, and because allopathic medicine, when you take a painkiller, it immediately tends to work, right?
Mhm.
So that's what we're looking for. We're in this, microwave society. We expect something immediately. But this
Mhm.
is long term. It is not something that you want to just give a couple of days and expect stuff to happen. Yes, for some of us, like me, Kathryn, you took a couple of days. It may help within the first couple of days, weeks. For some people, it takes months
Yeah.
for them to really experience the benefit of this patch. So I really want to encourage you that if you're going to try this, do it for a couple of months. And they encourage you to use it for a month for every decade that you've lived. So I'm in my 40s, which means that I would need to use it for 4 months before really expecting to experience any of the benefits of the product. So do not rush into it, not experience something within a week and give up. I would
Yeah.
really encourage you to try and give it a go long term, because your stem cells are working so deep inside your body that you might not know where it's working. If it's busy repairing your heart or fixing up something with your blood pressure or, you know, your endocrine system, you're not going to know that. You're not necessarily going to experience the effects of that. right? In the same way that you didn't experience it when it went bad, you only experienced it when it was really bad.
When you got the symptoms, the physical symptoms of something
Exactly, right?
off. Yeah, exactly.
But the it was already your body was already going downhill way before you experienced the symptoms.
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
give it time.
Yeah, I want to just say this real quick. Think about it like as if you were going to try and lose 30 pounds and you went on a diet and you ate really healthy for a week and then you got on the scale and you didn't lose 30 pounds, so you just quit. Most
Mm.
people do that actually. That's the same concept here. Like don't just put them on and then go, well, I didn't in whatever in 1 week or even a month. I would say at minimum, give yourself at least 90 days, 3 months, no matter what. Even if you're like, well, I'm 60 and I don't want to do this for 6 months, just at least start like with the mindset, I'm going to do this,
Mm.
commit to it for 90 days and wear them every day.
Great. So let's jump into the next one. This is an easy one. So it says, where is the best place on the body to wear the patches? And can you wear more than one at a time? How long should you wear it for?
You can wear more than one patch at a time, and I do. I sometimes wear four, five. Sometimes I wear SP6, X39, X49. I'm not saying you need to do that, but sometimes I do. But you can wear the specific patches, have specific places on the body, and when you order those patches, you'll get a little booklet and it'll tell you where to put it, okay?
Mm,
But for the majority of us,
that's
we
a
would
little
just wear the
booklet.
X39, yes, because that one is going to cover pretty much all the things with stimulating your stem cells, and your stem cells going to work at whatever part you need. And X39 was actually developed last. There's been those patches that have been around for a long time, and then X39 came around. So if anybody's like, well, what patch do I need to start with? X39. But
Mm,
you would wear that at the back of your neck, kind of where the tag would sit on your shirt, or 2 inches under your belly button is a good spot for that one, or any immediate area of pain on your body. So if your shoulder's hurting, put it on your shoulder. Knees hurting, put it on your knees, so on and so forth.
mm,
But it's systemic, so it's going to work wherever you put it. If you can't put it on your body and you're like, I don't want to put it on my body, put it on your shirt, put it on the inside of your clothing, or stick it in your pocket. It's still going to work the same way. Put it in your shoe. People have done it all types of different ways. So you can wear more than one. That's where you wear it, and you wear them for 12 hours on and 12 hours off
mm.
ish. Okay, so sometimes I keep mine on for 16 hours, depending on how long my day is. And I
Mm.
take them off and put them on. I anchor that habit to my shower and toothbrush habit. And so that's in the morning with the toothbrush and in the evening with the shower and the toothbrush. So it depends on the timing, but 12
Yeah.
to 16 hours.
Mm. I love that you also mentioned that you can put it on your clothing. So for people who have got skin conditions, for example, eczema or and so forth, you might not want to put something on your skin because it may be irritating, right? So if you wear it on your clothes, but wear it as close to your body as possible, because it is light and heat activated, so that it can go to work. But yeah, you don't have to wear it on your skin directly. The other thing that I want to mention is when you wear the patches, they do encourage you to drink a lot of water. Your body will go through a time of detox, and that can cause headaches. So you do just flush your body with as much water as you possibly can. So let's jump into the next one. It says, are there any risks or side effects or people who shouldn't use LifeWave patches?
No, they're very safe. There's no side effects to anything. You can use them while you're taking medication. The only thing I would recommend is if you're taking medication for something that's measurable, like a blood pressure or, something for diabetes, that you would just monitor that very closely. And if you see any sudden changes, then may want to talk with your doctor about adjusting back your medications, because there was a lady who was using the X39. She was on thyroid medication, and she just started feeling really weird after about 3 weeks, 4 weeks, something like that, of wearing the patches. And she just started feeling funky and she didn't know why. So she went to her doctor and they just immediately did some blood work because of what she was mentioning she felt. And they said, well, it looks like you're doubling up on your thyroid medicine. You should stop doing that. That's going to hurt you. And she said, I'm not doubling up on my thyroid medicine. I'm
Mm,
just wearing these patches. And they were like, oh, so what that meant was they needed to dial it back because she was not needing as much.
mm.
And that was pretty neat. So I thought,
Yeah.
okay, so just beware to pay attention to that. If you are on
Very
a,
good.
a maintenance medication, that you are monitoring the way you feel, and working with your doctor when you do start feeling off, because you may need to back off. I'm not
Mm,
telling you not to take medication. I'm just telling you to work with your doctor and pay attention.
mm. Absolutely. I love that. Thanks for sharing that. It's actually really, really important to know is that people write down their symptoms before they start so that they also know when changes are happening in their body, right?
And you can get a free tracker if you're like, I don't know, or you need guidance in that. You can download a free tracker at startx39.com to track how you felt when you started, 1 week in, 2 weeks in, just kind of going on like that. You can download it for free.
Oh, brilliant. All right, we're going to jump into the business side of things right now. So the next question is Lifewave a pyramid scheme or is it a legitimate business opportunity?
Yeah, absolutely. I love this question because, again, we talked about sometimes the ignorance is bliss thing, right? People don't know what they don't know, and ignorance isn't it's not mean. It's just a lack of knowledge, right? It's just that we don't know, and I'm ignorant about a lot of things. There's things I don't know, but let's talk about that because it is really important. People confuse network marketing, which is what LifeWave is, with illegal pyramid schemes all the time. They really have for a long time because I think at one point there was some issues with some things like that. And a pyramid scheme has no real product. Okay, they're just taking your money and you get nothing in exchange at all. You're like buying a spot to some invisible thing. LifeWave has a physical product and has real customer demand. And what happens with network marketing is you get paid to refer others to use what you love as well. And this is happening all over the world right now in other ways that is not network marketing, such as affiliate marketing. So if you see an influencer on TikTok or Facebook or Instagram and they're sharing their favorite mascara, for instance, I've bought the best eyelash curler I've ever seen in my life from some reel that a lady did on Facebook because it was so great. It was the best eyelash curler ever. And when I bought that, did I think, is she in a pyramid scheme? No, I just bought the eyelash curler because I wanted those eyelashes too with my own I don't like fake eyelashes. So, but anyway, and so I bought it. And what happened was when I bought that eyelash curler from her link that took me to Amazon pays her, and she never even says, go buy my eyelash curler. She just does a quick video showing that she's using it. She didn't even talk. And I bought it, and she got paid a commission. Is that a pyramid scheme? No. She got paid for referring to me what she's using and loves herself. And you're doing it all the time. You're buying products from people all the time that are referring something through affiliate marketing. Network marketing has a different element where you can also build a team of people that network to grow together and we all win together. Okay, so it's a structure where not the guy at the top makes all the money. And a pyramid scheme, when people think about that, is that if I get into this business and I buy this kit, then the CEO or the guy at the top or the person that sponsored me is going to make all this money off me. And that's never going to happen. No way am I doing that. But that's not true. And I know that it's not true because there's people in my organization, in my team through LifeWave that are below me several levels who have thousands and thousands of people underneath them who are also underneath me as well. Like it all trickles down. I make X amount of dollars. They make a bunch more, a lot more, like 40,000 a month more than I do. Okay. And they're below me. So if it's a pyramid, the guy at the top making all the money, where's my money? Somebody better give it to me because I'm not, you know what I mean? Like that's not how it works. I love that question. Because it's just about really understanding what a pyramid scheme actually is. And network marketing, although there are some that have not been the best structure and maybe have fallen apart or different things like that, it's important to look for longevity in a company when you're thinking about joining a network marketing business where you're going to refer people to use what you already are using. Or like when you go to the movies and you say, I just saw the best movie, and you're telling your girlfriend over a coffee the next day, that's you referring her. She's going to go see the movie, the theater, and all the other, production people are going to make the money from her ticket. You're going to make zero. You just sat at coffee and raved about the movie for 30 minutes and didn't get paid a dime for that. Here in this structure, in this way, you share what you like. Of course, if you're not going to use if I don't like this cup, I'm not going to tell you you should go buy this cup. It's so great. No, it's just stuff we're already using in our life. And then you're just getting a kickback. And then you can make even more when you build a team of people that are out there doing it together, a sales team of people. And, that's really the biggest thing. So the difference is with LifeWave as a network marketing company, there's longevity. They've been around for a long time. You're getting real products that work, and you're not just going to get something that you're like, well, I hope this helps people. No, it's going to help people. And you're not just buying into a system that's supposed to do something magically and you sit back and make money for doing nothing. This is not a get rich quick scheme. This is a legitimate business. And to have a legitimate business, like if you had a coffee shop and you didn't open that coffee shop, you wouldn't make money. Same thing here. If you don't go out and do something, you're not going to make money. You're not going to sign up somebody and sit back and go, now go make me some money. That's not how this works.
Yeah.
So that's the biggest difference. I love network marketing because it levels the playing field for everybody. You can make money being rich or poor to start. It doesn't matter. And the entry level is very, very low. The barrier is very low. So most anybody can start this.
And
And the
which is
skills, you
why,
can retrain.
yeah. And which is why I love this model so much, is that a lot of people who talk about pyramid schemes don't really understand what it is. So when they ask you about whether or not it is a pyramid scheme, oftentimes the next question is, how much money can I make out of this? And I'm like, well, you were just wondering about whether or not this was a pyramid scheme, and now you're asking me about how much money you make. And that's the problem, is people associate any kind of like these kind of businesses with making money, and that's not really the focus. And for me, it definitely is not. It's one of the businesses that I have, like you. We use it as another tool, another income stream in our businesses, because we do coaching, we do podcasting, we do workshops and mentorships, etc. And there's lots of other things that you're involved in. And I always say that I would love for people to be talking about my business, right? Any business owner would love that. We want the testimonials. We want, the person that we're coaching to go and speak to their friend and tell them about how wonderful coaching is and what a difference it can make in their life. So any business under the sun would want that. So for me, it is such a beautiful business model. I have a friend who's got a product-based business, and I'm always saying to her, you need to start getting people, affiliate marketers really, to go and talk and share about your business. That is how you're going to grow, word of mouth, right?
Yes.
The other side of it that I really love is that you have an opportunity to start your own business. For both of us, we know how hard it is to start your own business. Creating a website. I mean, I do all of my own website creation stuff, right? Everything from start to finish. Do my own podcasting, the editing, all of it from scratch. And I know how hard that is. Marketing. If you don't know all of those things, or if you're not interested in learning, it's really hard to start a business, right? Because there's so much work to do and to set up a business. And with network marketing or relationship marketing or MLMs, if you want to call it that, is oftentimes you already get a business that is completely set up for you. You don't have to create a website. You don't have to worry about customer care. You don't have to worry about shipping products. All you have to do is talk about it, share the experience that you've had. And for me, because of the health impact that it's had in my life, I want others to experience the same thing. And that is why I do it. Right?
So I think it's so fantastic that you even said that, talking about the money. Because yes, when people say, well, how much money can I make in this? That's a legitimately good question.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're going to be a business owner, you need to know, is there revenue here, right? We
Absolutely.
do need to know that. Yes, you can make a ton of money here. Why? Because it's structured beautifully, where if you do the work, you're going to get paid and paid well. So just really quick, because I know we're getting ready to have to wrap up. The cost, the entry level, to get in is so wonderful here, because like you said, starting a business is a lot of time and energy and effort, but it's also a lot of money. I've spent thousands, tens of thousands of dollars starting my coaching practice on trying to learn different things and hiring marketing, hiring all these other things, and buying programs and learning. But in order to start something like this in Lifewave, you can get started for even just $25 to get started selling Lifewave. It's only $25. If you want to earn commissions on building a team, you can get started for around $299. That's crazy low. What other kind of franchise can you go out there and buy for less than $1 million? I mean, $299 to have $40,000 a month incomes, US dollars, like that's nuts. That's amazing. And I know it's possible because I personally know people who do make that, not just like they tell you that, like I've seen it. And so to start, it's incredibly affordable, and it just makes sense. And all of it's done for you, and you don't have to create a website, and you don't have to upkeep, and marketing is just you sharing what you already love. So I think it's a fantastic business model. There's lots of money to be made here. And really, the only thing is if you don't understand something, and a lot of times I'm still at that. I still ask for help all the time. You have a support team of people, and you're not having to pay for leadership development and self-development and growth and help in learning how to build these specific business that we're running. You have a team training website that's completely done and ready to go, and you have support. You're not in this alone. Whereas a coach, I'm in this alone. Like I'm in this me and the Lord, right? But I'm in this alone. I don't have somebody I can call unless I hire coaches, which I do, and I pay them tons of money. But here you get all that. So I think it's just a fantastic business model.
Absolutely. And with any business, it's important to know that you have to work in your business. Doesn't matter what it is, whether it's a coffee shop or a business like this or a coaching business. We all work every single day, right? It's not about, like you said, it's not a get rich quick scheme. You're not going to sign up, sell a couple of products and then sit back. It's not the way life works, right? Yes, at some point you may get an income that is really sustainable for you, where you might not need to work as hard, but there is work to be done. I want us to just celebrate where we are and just say, thank you, Lord, for this opportunity, because I am so grateful that I got to meet you and we get to share in this beautiful business that has really changed our life in so many ways. So Kathryn, thank you so much for joining. I'm sure we'll do another one of these soon. And if anybody has any questions, please reach out to Kathryn or myself. I'll put all of our details in the show notes. And we look forward to hearing from you again soon. Please like and subscribe to this video. Share it with a friend, because you never know whose life you are called to impact. And always remember, you are loved, chosen, redeemed, and called. Lots of love and God bless. Goodbye.